Hi friends, today I'm going to share with you how I take my makeup look from day to night. So let's get into it. Okay, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, meaning when I was a preteen and a teenager, we read magazines, okay? There was Cosmopolitan, this was long before Cosmo Teen came out. Anyway, I had Cosmopolitan every single month. It was my absolute favorite magazine. My mother bought it for me, and there were other magazines that she liked that I would read, like Shape and stuff like that, Marie Claire, things like that, but my favorite was Cosmo. Anyways, I feel like they sold me on this idea that needing to take your makeup look from day to night was going to be like a big thing in my life. Like if I told you the amount of articles that I saw come through the Cosmopolitan magazine over the years, from one year to the next, to the next, to the next, I seriously thought that that was going to be something that like I needed to incorporate in my life and that I would need to know how to do. So like I would study it. Keep in mind, this was before the internet existed. Nobody knew how to do makeup unless you went to the library or bought a book showing you how to do it. Or if you knew somebody that, excuse me, my hair. Or if you knew somebody that taught you how to do makeup. You know, I was lucky enough that my mother was a makeup artist when I was that age, when I was really young. And so I feel like I learned a lot, not only from watching her, but watching her coworkers and from reading a lot of articles and stuff that I had access to while she was busy doing her clients' makeup. So yeah, anyways, I created this makeup look earlier today using this eyeshadow palette, as well as using this eyeshadow palette just a little bit. But I mostly used a little combination of the Natasha Denona My Dream palettes, both the midi and the mini. So today I basically created a look using these three palettes, and I'm gonna go ahead and dip back into these palettes to just amp up my current look and take this look from day to night. So maybe the reason why I didn't really do a lot of day to night, like makeup work, like work makeup looks and then going out after work, is because I was a mom when I was working. I became a mom really, really early on. Ooh! Okay. Take two. I became a mom really early on in my life, and so, you know, I made it a point to go straight home after work. Now, I did work a lot of overtime though, once I did finally start working in life, because I just wasn't able to support my children if I didn't do that. So I didn't ever really go out after work. I was at work after work. And I figured that it would be better for me to be at work while everybody is sitting in traffic rather than joining them. Because if I'm at work while everybody else is sitting in traffic, then that means I'm still getting paid instead of sitting in traffic for 2 hours for free, you know? And I really liked working during that time because the office was quiet and nobody else was really around anymore to make any distractions for me, like to cause any distractions. And there was no more incoming calls from clients that would interrupt my flow. And so things that needed my full concentration that I really wasn't able to do during the actual operating hours because of all the constant interruptions, I would handle that after work before I actually went home. Once the whole office got quiet and my phones would stop, you know, ringing off the hook. You know, it's really hard to work on legal documents for million-dollar trial cases when you're constantly being interrupted. But that's no excuse to your bosses. You know, you've got to still get the job done and no mistakes and do it quickly and handle all the clients' needs that are calling in all at the same time while having a smile on your face. It was pretty stressful. Anyways, I basically bumped into this mid-tone shade there. Now I'm going to just dip into this light shade to kind of blend out this top edge a little bit. But yeah, so if I didn't have kids and if I wasn't working overtime all the time, I imagine maybe I would have been going from day to night more often. Maybe I would have been going out with friends after work or whatever, but you know, probably not, because that's never really been my joy. I have never really been the girl that likes to be at the bar. I mean, I'll hang out at the bar with my friends, don't get me wrong, but like to just go up there and hang out often? No. I am not sure that this look is turning out like I'd kind of hoped. I feel like that eye primer that I used earlier today just isn't really helping me, because as you can see, I have some creases that have some blanks in them. If you look inside, you can really see where I have the white shadow that set the crease. And I'm not too sure how to get rid of that. I think maybe a little bit of a shimmer might help with that. I'm gonna just take a little bit of this dark shade here because I don't really want to lighten up the top part of the crease since I have like a darker shade around it. I'm just gonna take this little bit of dark shimmer and put it here and see what happens. I feel like that did at least cover up the crease opening a little bit, and it didn't seem to mess up the look. It actually helped to blend the shades into that area, so I do like the way that helped. Okay, so, and now to amp up the lower lash line just a little bit, I'm gonna hop back into the My Dream palette, and I think what I'm gonna do is start off with a little bit of this shade on the tip of this gorgeous brush here. I feel so fortunate that I was able to get my hands on these old style Sonia G brushes that were re-released and that she apparently sold out like right away. She only made like one small batch and wasn't planning on bringing it back, like restocking it or whatever. So I feel so fortunate that I was able to find out about it in time to actually pick one up, because I haven't really been keeping up with the brush releases too much. I mean, yeah, I kind of pay attention from afar, but oftentimes I come across it now like after it's released, and so the brush is already sold out, and I'm kind of glad because I don't need any more brushes. Like, I don't need any more natural haired brushes. Okay. These are all my face brushes, and as you can see, I use a lot of them, and I have a lot of them still clean too. So like, I don't need a bunch more, and I don't want to have this huge supply of Food Aid just like laying around in all the cabinets, literally being like tens of thousands of dollars just sitting around in brushes that I don't actually use, like, and that I just keep them in there to look at them and touch them. Like, no. I've got other things to do with my money, like buy more eyeshadow palettes and lipsticks. Anyway. All right, so for the lower lash line, I do kind of want to, sorry, I was looking in the viewfinder so I can get an idea of what it looks like. Let me just flip this around a little bigger. I do want to amp up the depth, so I'm gonna go into the mini My Dream now and take some of this brown here, just on the top of the tip of this brush, And I'm just gonna like darken between my lashes and that shimmer that is like catching all the light. Just so it's not so completely bright underneath the eye, but it still has some of that like light brightness. But I have the like darkness to anchor down my eyes. Okay, so I've been wearing the new Estee Lauder that I picked up. I picked up the shade 2N2, and it matches me really well. Previously, where's my old shade? No, I don't know where it is. Anyways, previously I had a shade that was way too light for me. It like matched me really well at first, but I got it too light and it didn't last like matching me for very long. And so anyway, I went by today to pick up a pump. I had to go to 2 different locations, and I actually got the very, very last one at the second location. I would have been without a pump. I would have had to order and wait for it to get delivered. And I don't want the mail people touching the things that are gonna like be on my face. You know, it's disgusting. I'm tired of mail people going through my mail. I digress. Okay, so anyways, I went by and I found the very last pump here on my side of the Metroplex to the Estee Lauder foundation. And I decided to go ahead and buy a new pump because the pump that I have soaking still has gunk all over it, and I just don't want to mess with it. And that had like old expired makeup that also was a different shade, so it's just like no. So I went ahead and just bought a new pump, and I decided to try the foundation without having a pump first. Like I just poured it out onto my palette earlier today when I did my makeup, and that is because I wanted to even see if the shade was going to be good enough for me to go and get a pump. But as you can tell by looking, the shade match is incredible. And like it's not blurring my fine lines. My smile lines aren't fine. They're pretty prominent. So it's not blurring my smile lines or anything like that, but it's certainly not over accentuating my pores or cracking anywhere even within my fine lines. And so, you know, I do really like, sorry, I'm looking at an enlarged mirror right here at the, like right underneath you. I do really like the way that the makeup looks on me, and it's been on me for hours. So I'm pretty happy with this foundation. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say was I ended up picking up a pump for this after I tried this on earlier today and decided that it was a good shade match. So now I'm gonna have a pump for this makeup, like this new foundation for me. But that means that I'm not going to want to lay it down because I feel like the pump doesn't work that great. It starts to like sputter out or whatever when I lay it down in my drawers. So I'm going to need to like stand this up, which I guess just means I'm going to have a little bit more room in my stash drawer here beneath me. So that's a plus. But yeah, I want to do a little bit of blending, and then I feel like, you know, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish as far as taking my look day to night. And I will say that today I am wearing the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. I think I have the anti-aging one. It's really not my favorite. I feel like, I mean, it works well, but I personally love my MAC paint pot. I never have any of this patching or anything like that when I use my MAC paint pot because I go in with eyeshadow onto my MAC paint pot while it's still tacky and still slightly wet. I don't let it completely dry down before I start putting eyeshadow on it, and I certainly never go over it with a powder first. So yeah, I love the MAC paint pot. I can make this Urban Decay primer work, and it's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, try to use it from time to time because I did purchase it and I don't want it to just sit and waste in my cabinet. But I do find that my eyes look older when I'm using the Urban Decay the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer as opposed to the MAC paint pot. And that might also have a lot to do with the fact that the MAC paint pot really like blanks out my eyes a lot. And so of course they're just gonna look like fresh and bright and clean, you know, and young, more youthful, I think, from afar like that. And they don't look bad closer either. I also feel like you can see less of my hooding with the MAC paint pot. Something about it, like, it just adds a little bit more oomph onto the skin and keeps it from just like wrinkling up on itself. That's how I feel anyway. I don't really know how to describe that, and I don't really know if that's the case and that's just how I feel or what, but that's how I feel that I look at it like. But yeah, so now let's amp up the lips for the night look. And I do want to also amp up the wing. I'm going to use just a little bit of this liquid liner, just a little bit, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to amp up the lip a little bit. I'm still going to wear the same lip shade that I had on, but earlier the lip liner combination that I used was Cool Spice and Cool Spice and Stone. So what I'm going to do now is use Stone and Chestnut instead, so that it'll be a little bit like of a deeper, lip. Felt like I had to really concentrate because this lip liner is still so new that the edge is really sharp and it hasn't like blurred down the way I like my lip liners. Like, let me show you what my Stone lip liner looks like. And this one I use a lot. See, that's how I like my tips. That's how I like my tips on my MAC lip liners. And it's hard to find a lip liner that will do that without being too dry and like hurting your lip, or without being overly creamy that it just like disappears as you use it. Okay, and so earlier I had used the slightly brownie buxom shade. This is the one that I had put on earlier, but what I'm gonna do, oh, this is this way. I don't know what that says. Anyway, I'm gonna get the one that's slightly more pinky, and that will go nicely with the Cool Spice. Although, I love a matte lip moment. I could use a little bit of a lip blending. So let me go ahead and get something to blend the line with just a tad. Hold on. All these brushes, and I never have what I need at the tip of my hand. I've never used this Rephr 03 brush for this purpose, but I'm gonna try it and see how I like it. I love that so much. And I bled down just a little bit. This wasn't sharp enough for the edges. Anyway, I love the way that it looks so much now that I'm not even gonna add a lip gloss. I want this matte look. A lot of people wouldn't like this like slightly wrinkled look of my lips, like the way they are naturally, but I personally don't mind it. And I've never had a gentleman that's staring at my mouth while I'm talking to him ever complain about my lips looking too dry. So I'm fine with it. Okay. So lastly, to amp up the look from day to night, I'm gonna just amp up a little bit of the contour with my KBD palette. I'm gonna just take a tiny, tiny little bit in this light shade so that I don't get too carried away. I wanna just add a little bit for, yeah, see? Just a little hint. While I'm in the shadows talking and such, that will be accentuated. That would just be accentuated as a little bit of a shade on the cheek. And yeah, so here is my amped up day to night makeup look. I am ready now to go out after work. So this would be the look that I would take from the office to drinks or social events. I mean, I don't drink, but if I was going with somebody, a group of people that were gonna have some drinks or whatever, you know, that's what they call it. But anyway, if I was gonna go hang out after work with some people and have a little bit of a social hour or two before I head home after work, this would be how I amp my look up using the exact same palettes that I used to create my daytime look. So let me know what you think of the look that I created. Let me know if you've ever had the need to take your makeup look from day to night. I would love to know if that is something that you incorporate in your lifestyle often or not. Anyhow, I had a lot of fun amping up my look for a little bit of a nighttime moment, and I really love the way that it turned out. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you take a moment to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel before you go. It's absolutely free to subscribe to me. The subscribe button is down below, so click that subscribe button before you go so I can see you in my next video. Bye. I'm ready to go. Bye.